Hey guys, Blue Bear Crypto back with another video, and we've got some good news. So the next few days, I think it's like the next 6 days, we should have some pretty spot on electricity rates. And I know for tomorrow, the average for the majority of the day is probably going to be about 2p a kilowatt. So we're actually going to probably be more profitable than most miners, obviously for a day. But yeah, still good news. Nice little win after the old Pyrin scam that we've been mining. And to get to that, actually, I said on my live stream that I'd mined $700 worth of Pyrin at the value it was before it got rugged, but I actually moved a decimal. So I had 6,000 Pyrin, and it's close to about $70 that I've lost. So not the biggest loss in the world. I'm not really too bothered about that. But yeah, these electricity rates that we are going to get, I'll put them on the screen, and then I'll also show you later in the video the details on how I sort of work it out and how I can sort of predict when I can use rigs, or even basic stuff like the washing machines and dishwashers and everything to make money. We will be a profitable boy for the next week or so, I reckon. And when I say profitable, I mean actually like profitable. I could sell everything that I make, and I would make a good chunk of change on that one. This rig is off at the moment. We were mining Ravencoin, but I think the overclock that I'd set, my cards weren't too happy with it, so they did disconnect about a day ago now, and I didn't pick up on it until later today. So these 4 cards, 6600 XTs, these will be moving over to Neoxa, I think. And I think that's the most profitable coin for the 6600 XTs at the moment. So they will be making $15 a day at the rates that I will have for tomorrow. 0.6 US dollar a day in profit. Obviously it's not a lot, and these cards are very weak, but they are quite efficient, so it doesn't cost a lot to sort of run them. The Octominer is currently running Aleo still. That one will change over to Xano, yeah. So that's the next card that I'm going to go on, and that is looking at 35 cents per card. And obviously I've got 8 in there, so maths tells you that's not going to be too bad for a day's worth of mining. And yeah, so these two still mining Aleo, and I'm still taking the profits out every 2 days. And I've been converting it into Litecoin, and Litecoin's actually doing all right at the moment. It's been moving up slowly, which is nice, because obviously Aleo is constantly going down. The strategy of putting it into Litecoin has been working quite nicely for me. So I ordered a KS2 literally a few hours after it got released on the Ice River website, thinking I will get this delivered basically as soon as the shipping date starts, which was the 15th of October, and I've not had anything as of yet. I don't know if they may be doing the big like batch orders first, but I would guess that would make more sense if they did that. But yeah, still waiting on that one to get shipped off, so a bit frustrating, because obviously the sooner that you get those ones, the more profitable they are for longer, if that makes sense. The longer it takes to get to you, the less profitable it will be when you finally get to turn it on. In the last video that I had lots of UK crypto miners coming out of the shadows, telling me what rigs they've got, telling me electricity rates, and that's great. That's what I am after. So if you've got a rig that even if it's one rig, if it's 100 rigs, if it's a bunch of ASICs, if it's literally one ASIC and nothing else, let me know what you've got. I want to know what your electricity rates are, what you're mining, and what your strategy's been since Ethereum basically wasn't mineable anymore. But it's good to know that I'm not the only crazy person in the UK actually trying to do something and make it work. But when you've got electricity days like the ones that I've got coming up, it seems like a pretty good idea to have this kind of setup sometimes, because this is going to make I don't know what the profit would be, but I will put it right now. If I sold everything that I made over the next 24 hours at an average cost, I think I put it as 4 cents per kilowatt. we've got some good times in terms of profitability, and like I said, that is going to be fairly cheap for the week, so looking forward to it. I don't think I've got anything else to let you guys know. As soon as I get the KS2, we will be showing off what it can do. We'll have performance, and also we'll just get it straight into the house, and that will be mining. The ASIC, which usually sits here, is in the house. That is ready to go for basically the whole day tomorrow, mining Bitcoin. Profitability isn't all that matters. Like I said in the last video, it is heat in the house, and it is getting cold at the moment, so whatever we can do to stop the central heating from coming on, then we don't have to pay for gas. That is the goal. But the amount of hot air that it actually physically pushes out means that it can flow the hot air quite nicely around the bottom of the house, and that in turn goes up anyway because hot air rises, so it actually warms the whole house up if you leave it on long enough. So I'm trying to mine Neoxa, and I've got 3 cards mining fairly consistently at the moment, but this one, which is my GPU 3, is not running at the moment. The only reason I can tell, it's only showing 3 cards on the miner, but yeah, the only way to tell at the moment is this is completely cold, whereas these others are slightly warm. They don't really get hot, 6600 XTs, because they're so low power, they just don't generate much heat. But luckily I can tell this one's cold, so I am going to try replacing the riser. That's the riser that was left from the 3060 Ti. I'm not going to use that one because I don't know if you can remember from the last video, but that one was not working as well. So either the riser or the power cables to the previous 3060 Ti connection, something along there isn't working, so not going to use those. I'm going to change the riser. Hopefully that will fix this bad boy. Here we go. Right, so update on the 6600 XT rig. It was actually the riser, so I got it in the first guess, which is lucky. But I didn't think it would be the power cables because it's pretty naughty, so don't tell anyone about it. But I have one cable that splits off to 2, and then I split those 2 off into each riser and graphics card for 2 coins. But it sounds kind of sketchy, but that's how I've always ran those cards, and the only reason I can do it is because they use such a small amount of power. I was thinking if that one's got issues with the cable, surely the other graphics card it's connected to would probably have some sort of issue as well, but it's just one specific card that kept on going offline. I've just increased the overclock because I'd reduced it, trying to, just in case it was the overclock like I thought it was at the start of the video. But yeah, I've pulled it up. The overclock was at like 1100, and then the memory was at like 1000 on the lock. But yeah, it was just a riser. I've actually had 2 risers go on me since mining with GPUs, and they've been the actual GPU riser. They're these ones. So the GPU risers UK risers are the only ones that have ever gone on me. Granted, I've only have had 2 go on me over like 3 or 4 years of mining, so I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. They're actually quite good quality compared to the ones that you get, like just the dirt cheap ones. But funnily, the really low end, the absolute cheapest risers that I got when I first got that rig, they are all still running perfectly, but they did come with the SATA cable to power your riser, which is not good. If you know anything about GPU mining, you don't want to use a SATA power cable because it can only take, I think, 75 watts maximum, and most graphics cards pull more than that. So if you're using a cable that can't take the power that's being pulled, then usually it ends up being a fire hazard. So it's good to know if you're just starting out, don't use any SATA cables to power graphics cards. Feel like I was pretty lucky getting that one back on. Nice easy fix. Hey guys, Blue Bear Crypto's editor, Blue Bear Crypto. Just giving you a bit more insight on the electricity prices and how I kind of look into it and work them out. So as of recording, I was talking about the 20th, which has now passed. So the good rates that we got paid for, the plunge period, that was at, I think it was, I can't remember what times it was between, but yeah, this is the UK demand for electricity, and this is what is projected from renewable energy. So the bottom one is wind, the one above that is wind embedded. I'm not 100% certain on what wind embedded actually is, but then solar is on top of that. Obviously that only comes out when it's sunny, but because we're getting into autumn, that solar isn't really getting that much at the moment, so we're predominantly running off wind for cheap prices. But yeah, so this was the good day. When the red line obviously drops below the projected renewable energy production line, that means that there is basically more supply than demand, so the grid will pay you for electricity. And like I said, this kind of gives me a heads up for days in the future on when I will be getting paid to mine, or if I wanted to start mining something, or if it's going to be profitable the next few days. This kind of gives me an okay understanding of it. As of recording right now, it is October the 21st, about 9 o'clock at night, and the projection originally when I was first looking at this was essentially like staying around here. So it was all pretty high up, pretty in line with the demand out of peak times, which peak times is obviously these spots here, especially this pit around like 4 till 7. That's usually the peak times there. So it has dropped down. Obviously, as you get closer to the date, it becomes more accurate because you can obviously predict the weather a bit better. The next few days, it will drop down a little bit. These rates still overall, if you compare them to like these periods or here, it's still higher than what it has been. So this isn't much of a problem. I will still mine, and obviously I can use my battery to get out of the peak periods of the high charges, and also I have a little bit of solar. It looks like it might be a little bit more of a sunny day. Bearing in mind this isn't projecting my solar on my house, so if like this kind of seems like a fairly good day for solar, for saying that it's autumn, so I will benefit from that personally, from whatever my solar panels make. Yeah, the rest of the week, I'm hoping these jump back up, and then it does jump back up here as well. So we're looking over the next few days like it might be a bit better than what it has been, and I'm just hoping that we can keep the wind up during the autumn and the winter. So when the sun is down, it's kind of made up for in cheaper rates from the wind, essentially. To give you a bit of an idea on rough prices, this isn't my exact how much I've paid, and it's not really formatted very well, but yeah, anything negative is the light blue, and the times go from like midnight to half past midnight, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2. So it goes across through the hours and then down. But yeah, so it was negative for a good chunk of the night last night, this morning, and then as the wind dies down and the usage goes back up, the prices actually just go back to normal pretty much. So it's just about taking advantage of the negative prices. So whenever I see negative prices, the ASIC is on, basically trying to use as much electricity as possible because we just get paid for it. So we get paid for it before we even get paid in Bitcoin. So why not make the most of that? So I'll let you know how the prices go as of next week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.